Because we basically do for a lot more than I like to, but
How's he doing on his? He's doing good.
he's wanting us to sell Fisher's, or this company, the airport, so they can develop it. The one in Fisher's.
Just tries to overdo.
It belongs in at the airport.
Yeah.
Or do they own it, or do they just have
we
a
own it.
statutory operating?
We went through this once, several years ago, when Lisa Johnson was on there, and we shut it down. Good morning.
See, you don't want me to read these meetings. I'll be reading these.
Keep going backward. Yeah.
No, I'll be taking back. Yeah, you should. Which one? Yeah, because well, you take one stack, I'll take the other, because when they
If you get here a little bit,
I'll go back there and open it back there, and then anything that comes, I think there's anything in the meeting, hell, you'll probably be done with the meeting.
Good morning. I had to stop for school buses. I saw someone pass from behind. I was so mad. I wish I had my phone out. I would have gotten it. How is everything?
this thing, on these bags, so she can irritate me.
Okay.
She's been out for about 6 weeks.
Who?
Tawny.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
She's
yeah,
been
yeah.
wrong. She had
Yeah.
surgery and all
Yeah.
that.
She just said you might have another one.
Yeah.
Alrighty,
She's
good.
waiting on.
Are we ready?
Yep.
Good morning, everyone. At this time, we'll call to order the Hamilton County Drainage Board for our meeting of November 24, 2025. Let the record reflect we have a quorum of all 3 members. We have a bid opening. Oh, we did not have executive session, so we'll start with our bid opening.
I make a motion, we move the bid opening in the back room. Anyone that would like to go with him, because he's got a whole pile.
This is only half of them.
Yeah.
Well, that might take a moment.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in the bid openings, we'll be doing it in 1A, which is immediately behind us.
Just follow him back there.
I'll be back.
You'll be back.
I don't know if
Yeah,
I'll be back in
eventually.
time, but I'll be back.
By the time you open all those, I don't know you will either.
Might be a moment. And for everyone who submitted bids, thank you in advance. I know it takes quite a bit. We're both going. That's fine. And for the record, those bids were 2026 rural maintenance contract, 2026 urban maintenance contract, and 2026 jetting, televising, and related services contracts. We have a public hearing. It's the Mary Johnson Drain, W.C. Inman, and W.C. Inman R2. You want to go ahead and present, please?
Yeah, you have before you the proposed reconstruction of the Mary Johnson Drain. Plans were prepared by Kimley Horn. This is for the Skylake improvement that's being proposed north of 216th Street, just east of Dunbar Road, west of US 31. They plan on intercepting the Mary Johnson Drain at their north property line, running it south approximately 40 feet, and then they will be running it, then they're going to reconstruct it in a different location, running west parallel with the north property line to a point about 600 feet west of that at the beginning. And then they're going to run it south and intercept the existing tile at the south property line with Skylake and the north property line with Mr. Larry Bill's property. At that point, they will reconstruct the drain by removing the existing tile. They will run it to the point where it intercepts with a arm coming from the west. At that point, they will be running parallel 36-inch tiles to the outlet. They plan on vacating the drain through their property, the existing drain, and of course removing that.
Could you clarify the vacation and what it's replaced with, please?
Yes. They'll be vacating the drain from this point.
We need the dock cam. We need the dock cam.
Can we switch that?
We need the dock cam. That's the stream control.
They will be vacating the drain from this point to this point. So this will all be removed. And they're going to reconstruct it going west to this point and then south.
Okay, along the blue line, thank you. Alrighty.
You want to say that it's paid for by the
This will be paid by the developer, and they will need to put forth a surety of 120% of the engineer's estimate, which they have not presented yet.
Okay, so all of their plans are within existing regulated drain or new easement?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Are we ready for the public hearing?
Does Kelly want to need to say anything?
You good?
You did just fine. All right.
Okay, at this time, we'll open the public hearing on the Mary Johnson Drain, W.C. Inman, and W.C. Inman Arm 2. Would anyone care to address the board? Seeing and hearing none, we'll close the public hearing.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion or further information? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Clara Knott Drain, Parkview Arm Phase 2, discussion?
Yes, at a recent board meeting, we were discussing the construction of the Clara Knott Drain, and the office has issued notices to the properties shown on the exhibit. These properties are either directly affected by the project or will benefit from the project being installed. The project in question is shown on the exhibit in blue. Those are the new drains that will be installed. Notices were sent to each of those lot owners, inviting them to the meeting today.
Can you show the direction of flow?
Yes, flow will go, I'll come over to the board. Flow generally comes south down Central, Ruckle, and Park, and then it will be collected in this system, run to the west, and then run to the south.
Thank you.
And of note, the drainage system within the Meridian Corporate Plaza that was installed in the late 80s, early 90s, was sized in anticipation to accept this flow. This project goes back quite a while. But the specific project for the benefit of the board, because it has been several years, I wanted to give a history. Project was approved at hearing on March 28th, 2022, based on a surveyor's report dated January 26, 2022. The drain was petitioned for reconstruction June 23rd, 2017, contained in the Drainage Board, Book 17, page 405. That petition represented 36.8% of the watershed.
And I might add that Drainage Board member and Commissioner Harebrant and I personally met with those folks and explained the process because of the terrible drainage in that area.
Yes. I'm going to come, so yes, that, I've already said that, that shows who was noticed. I'm going to come, we have another slide but I'll come back to that. The primary purpose of the project is to install a drainage system to drain the road right-of-way to improve the existing surface swale system. The drainage system will also provide a deeper drainage outlet to the adjacent lots, should those lots be experiencing local drainage issues. Right now, you really can't drain a backyard to the roadside swale in the front. This system would put in pipes that are at a deeper elevation where somebody could do that. The project has been delayed by utility relocations for the last 3 years, but we are in a position to start moving the project forward. Project will take place within the existing public right-of-way or existing regulated drainage easements. The project cost, construction was $1,440,000 with a 15% contingency of $216,000. Professional services and land acquisition totaled $329,431.25, bringing the total project cost to $1,985,431.25. The project is being completely paid by ARPA and the City of Carmel. There is no cost to the landowners. Thank you, Susie. This second slide, I wanted to show of the people that were invited today. The ones in red were those that were party to the petition submitted in 2017. I have reached out to Carmel, and while they have no complaints regarding this project, while they have no complaints on file, they support the project moving forward, as generally more drainage is never a negative. Having more drainage outlets and more drainage capacity is usually a positive. And then every drainage project provides more resiliency, even if not immediately necessary. That was in an email from the City of Carmel. That is all I have in terms of history. I know there's people here to speak to the board.
Okay, let me clarify, this isn't a public hearing. We've invited folks here who have sent letters to explain their concerns, and also to invite people within that shed to tell us if you're supportive of this.
Yes.
It's not going to cost anything to the landowners, and quite honestly, the complaints that Commissioner Harebrant and I received on this drain in probably 16, 17, were significant. And those folks signed a petition and asked for help, in which we've designed and provided.
Yes.
So if anyone wants to come and talk about this, you have up to 3 minutes. Ask that it not be repetitive, because again, this is by invitation, it's not a public hearing. That time has passed. So if anyone would care to address the board and be specific as to your support or complaint. And as you approach, would you give your name and address and point out where you are on the map?
Good morning, Board. Lisa Claghorn, 2 North 9th Street, Noblesville, Indiana. I'm with Church Hill and Antrim. I represent a number of the citizens in this drainage shed. One thing I would like to present is a petition with 15 signatures stating that this project, and Gary did a great job of recapping a lot of the history here. A couple of things I'd like to note. 2017, this project was put forth in a few phases. 2 of those phases have been completed. This is the last. Those 2 phases have had the impact of curing the drainage problem, according to these 15 landowners. And generally, the interest is that no drainage study has been done this decade. The survey Alta chain of title is really questionable here. This ground was originally platted to Indianapolis, so the existence of a drainage set is a legal drain is also in question. If it was platted to Indianapolis back in before World War II, it would not have been eligible for an out-of-municipal drainage designation, to our knowledge. And
Could you explain the significance you see in the regulated drain issue?
So the rights that they're utilizing to reconstruct, whether they're an easement dedicated to Hamilton County or they would be a taking of these landowners, that would be a significant difference. There has been one acquisition of the mound area, which was a commitment that when they put the commercial area next to the residential subdivision, they put in a very high mound, which has settled a bit. And it's that knockout that they've purchased, but they haven't done anything to actually acquire any rights from these landowners. And if it is an existing legal drain, then
Would you agree that perhaps they waived their rights when they didn't participate in the initial public hearing when this was approved?
I would agree.
Thank you.
The construction drawings do not consider the number of trees and the street placement that would need to be reconstructed for this project. The number of trees, as the GC has pointed out, is much higher than the 3 listed on the construction drawings. There's no replacement of those listed on the project plan because it was made in an alternative. So to the landowners, they don't know what's actually happening with respect to this construction. So that's the one caveat I would make to the statement that they may have waived their rights. They waived their rights to the idea of reconstruction, not the actual reality of how this would be constructed, because that was never disclosed to these homeowners. Lastly, I would just say that the idea that drainage is never a negative is not something that these landowners would agree with. This is a negative to the way they've existed in that area for the last 30 years, 35 years. These trees are all very large that will be taken out, and they have not been compensated, nor has an actual survey been identified to justify where the right-of-way is. The platted lots, as done before World War II, were done with less sophisticated materials, and no survey, no validation of where the reconstruction will happen has ever been plotted out for these people to see. So there was no ALTA done to identify who owns what rights out there, and that's the main concern.
Thank you. Oh, would you point out who you represent on the map?
Are they
I
all
think
the
you
red?
can point, no, those are the petitioners that need drainage.
Yeah, Lisa, you'll have to go to.
Oh, sure.
Boy, it's going to be hard for us to see.
And a number of them are here, and so it's this one, and that one. And then there are 15 additional citizens who have signed.
But are they in that watershed? Where are they in the watershed, the additional people that you say are signing off?
They're on the path of reconstruction.
But where on the map,
Where?
please? You showed us 3 parcels, but you
Yeah.
said there's another 15. Where are the other 15?
Where are those at?
Sure.
The addresses are on there, Lisa.
Not, okay. Sure.
These are the street addresses.
Okay. This one? This one?
Gary, how many residents are in the actual watershed there?
That one?
It's close to 40, I counted, I don't remember exactly.
Okay.
It's close to 40.
And then there's another one here.
Is it a shaded parcel that shows the watershed where the water drains?
I didn't specifically delineate the watershed. This is merely the landowners that are part of the shed. Most of the ones, say, on the boundaries, on the very western limit and eastern limit, it's only half of those lots that drain to the front, to the road right-of-way.
Okay, so it's not a full lot, but some of them do.
Correct.
Due to the very old plat, that none of these lot lines, as shown, have ever been released from the.
Well, can you come back, because we're not picking up your comments. Thanks.
I believe what was said was that there are some half lots. All of these lots are half of one and half of the next, because as they were originally platted to the city of Indianapolis, they were a different lot width. And so none of the lots that you actually see have ever been legally platted as you see them.
So you saying Indianapolis had jurisdiction over this area?
Yes, ma'am. And I have a copy of the plat, and that's been exchanged as well. This was originally platted, and the right-of-way that has been mentioned as where the drainage would be going was originally dedicated to the city of Indianapolis.
Gary, how do you respond to that?
Well, if we had resumed, and checking at our legal, if City of Carmel or county maintained those forever, when we assume jurisdiction, we assume the right-of-way.
Absolutely, and that is not the question. The question is where the original plat lines were drawn out pre-World War II. They have never been replatted, so we actually don't know where the meets and bounds of any of these properties are, which means the right-of-way is in question, which means that the easements are also in question. And because there was no survey done as part of the project, all of that is still unknown.
Well, I assume that somewhere in the face of the earth, Carmel has what they have determined is their right-of-way, correct? Well, that would,
The right-of-way has never changed.
Go ahead, Gary.
What Ms. Clycorn's describing is the lot lines themselves. So the east-west lines that define the lot, based on all of my research that I've done, is the right-of-way has never been in question. The right-of-way remains what has been platted even before going back to the original plat. It just has to do with the, like I said, the east-west lines of each lot. Our tax mapping reflects the combinations, the splits and whatnot. So there is a record in title of these lot descriptions and whatnot. Correct, that wouldn't be reflected on the initial plat, but the deed records show it. And for the several deeds that I looked at after talking with Ms. Clycorn, the right-of-way has never been questioned.
and all the people received when they purchased their property was the deeded description.
Correct.
Thank you.
And, I mean, to my knowledge, that right-of-way was established by plat, that unless there's a transaction where that right-of-way was vacated and purchased by the landowner, there's no reason to believe that the right-of-way still is not as platted.
Okay. Thank you.
If it's the north-south line that is the only thing that we are unsure of, all the north-south lines on the grid, I would posit that the east-west portion of this drain is now still, may or may not be placed in the right-of-way. Additionally, how large is that right-of-way?
I believe it's 60 feet.
Okay.
So it'd be 30 feet on each side of the center line. And we have already staked the structures, and they're well within that.
Okay, and we won't disturb anything outside that area in construction?
Correct.
Got it.
And the improvements referencing the trees and whatnot, those are all in the right-of-way.
Okay. Commissioner, or Dillinger?
No, that's what I wanted to know from him.
Okay.
I mean, if it is a matter of staking the right-of-way, we can certainly do that. I will say that, we're going to use the plat. I'm not aware of any other document that would establish the right-of-way. So, but we certainly can stake the right-of-way if the residents need to know the limit of the right-of-way.
Okay. One more comment, please.
The plat, as referenced, has no meets and bounds description for it.
Well, what's it say, from this tree to that tree, or the big
It
rock on the
is
corner?
rudimentary, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, that is the comment,
Actually-
and it is not.
There was a day when things were simpler.
Yes.
Yes.
And the plat reflects that. It was 60 feet off a line as described. Plats are much more specific today, but it is what it is. It's
So
how,
you feel from the description on the plat, you have determined the right-of-way?
I certainly can. I haven't gone to the level of saying that it is specifically right here. When we designed it, we were so well within the right-of-way, it wasn't necessary to survey it in the field.
And ma'am, have you done a survey?
We have not had time to engage a Alta survey.
This has been going on for at least 2 months.
We've ordered it, it has not been delivered yet. The surveyor that we requested it from actually transferred his book of business, so.
Have you indeed you ordered one and you're waiting on it?
The field work has not been completed, no.
But you have ordered a survey
Yes, ma'am.
of what area on the map?
Of the representing clients. So mainly this bottom corner. And honestly, what they're looking at and looking for, again, as Gary said, is a rudimentary plating that is, again, off of certain lines, but there is no legal description. And the same is true of
Actually,
the Indianapolis
It,
dedicated plat, and because of that, what they are going to be able to survey is what is true on the ground. This road was, Central was reconstructed by the city of Carmel just this year, so there is asphalt there. And that's actually part of what will be torn up by this construction project. And so, we understand that there is a center line and there is a measure, but the construction staking that we have seen is not in alignment with being inside that area. And because we don't know where any of those lines originated from, there's no legal description for
I'll
this.
say, you don't need a legal description for this. This is how plats were done back in the day.
It is what it is.
All of the land that's described outside of the incorporated areas are described the same way this plat is, so many feet off a line based on the section corners. All the lines are parallel. There's a methodology that surveyors use that we don't need specific legal descriptions, meets and bounds.
Got it. Do you have any questions?
Maybe more people.
Well, I think she's representative of them. I can't. Do you need to hear any more? Okay. Well, thank you for coming in. Do you want to determine what we're doing or consider it? I've not heard anything persuasive personally.
What do you do?
It is disturbing that there's some people that do not want this. And what bothers me is this thing's been on the radar for years. And, this is, over the last couple months is the first time that I've heard that people didn't want it.
Well, I think once, pointed out were 3 people of the shaded area.
Yeah.
And pointed out are the petitioners that are on the tail end of the drainage area that need help. That's what I see.
Well, it's not unusual for us to have people who don't want our projects.
Right.
And I understand they don't want their trees torn down, but
Yeah.
for the betterment, we're here for the betterment of the whole.
Okay. Well, I think the appropriate would be a motion to stop the project if that anyone's so inclined. Otherwise, I think we've taken the action necessary to move forward.
We got another gentleman that wants to.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, please.
Please state your name and your address and point out where you live on the map, please.
I'm Larry Westner. I live at 525 East 102nd Street, Carmel, Indiana.
Can you point out where your house is?
Sure.
Thanks.
I'm against this project, primarily the pipe that you're going to lay from Broadway to Central West is not going to drain anything because we do not have a drainage problem in that area whatsoever. In any heavy rain, there's never any water standing more than 5-10 minutes after a heavy rain. It dissipates on its own. Same with Central. They do not have any drainage whatsoever. Those north streets, Park and Ruckle, There's no tile along those streets to drain into that pipe. It's all natural drain. The end of Central, there's a mound that's about 12 feet tall. Those are 35-year-old trees that were planted. I've been there for 40 years. I was there part of the Trammell Crow project. And the mound and all that was planted there to hide us from that park down there. You're going to tear that mound out, part of that mound out. Are you going to build that back up to 12 feet and guarantee it won't sink? And when you put trees back on it, if it does sink, then what are you going to do? Because these people at the end of Central are going to see that.
Well, for the record, the mound encroaches on the existing regulated drain, so it truly is an encroachment that shouldn't have been done without permission from the drainage board, because that cost a lot to construct, as we understood. And I think we did a special assessment against the developer because it was an encroachment.
Maybe, but we wanted that. That's how Trammell Crow came to us. They asked us, what can we do to get favorable votes from you? And that was one of the things we asked. Trammell Crow put the sidewalk in along 103rd Street. They did a lot for us. The drainage has been fixed over the years. You just did a project on New Jersey. The north end of 103rd, north side there, all that's been fixed. I don't understand why we're spending $1 million for something that isn't going to solve anything.
Well, there's a difference of opinion as to what this solves and what this doesn't. And you have
Well, I invite you to drive down and look at it on a heavy rain and see if there's any water standing there. That's my point. I understand you want to make things better, but what is this going to do other than tear up a lot of property? And their new streets, you're going to make 4 cuts in the road to put this pipe down.
Okay,
So
thank you.
I'm
I'd like to have
definitely
Gary
against this.
address the value of the project.
Beg pardon?
So I'd like Gary to address the value of the project so you can hear from the surveyor's side the value of the project. Thank you.
But thank you.
Thank you. So the project, in particular, this project, as you can see for the red lots where the initial petition included, that they were experiencing drainage issues within the roadway. And so in order to fully drain that roadway all the way to the south, it doesn't have an outlet today, at least as deep as it is, so it will move that water away and move it to the pipe that was sized back in the 80s or 90s to accept that water. It's just that there are lots in between that in order to move the water from where the issues were being experienced. But along the way, all those lots will benefit from having this drain tile. The roadway will have better drainage in terms of a deeper drainage outlet, a series of inlets in addition to the existing surface drainage system that they're discussing. And then it also, one of the prime benefits, though, that doesn't exist today is the ability for each lot to connect to this tile if they so choose. Right now, those options do not exist. So if an individual lot is experiencing drainage issues in their rear yard, they can run a tile out to the tile that will be installed.
Do you want to hear anything else? Well, we need to move on with our agenda. We appreciate you coming in and expressing your concerns. So at this time, we'll look at hearing request, Elijah J. Drain, Town of Sheridan Road Acreage Correction, and Beam Simons and Hair Drain Special Assessment.
Yes, the first one was another issue with the total assessment that was contained in the notice, and so we're requesting another hearing to advertise for the benefit of the Town of Sheridan the corrected assessment. The notice included that they would be assessed $1,331.40, and the notice and the hearing that we're requesting in January would be an assessment for $1,533.20.
Okay. Is there a motion?
So move.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? Aye. We have no final reports. We have the Spring Mill Run drain.
If I could, the George Beam,
Oh,
I took this one separately because.
oh, you did, I
it-
mentioned both of them.
Yes, this is a different situation that it's not related to the roadway assessments, but we did identify that some of the watersheds are in the red, and we have done it and are collecting a special assessment to bring that drain out of the red. And so the town of Sheridan will assume those payments from the Hamilton County Highway Department. So this is another hearing for that special assessment that we're continuing to receive payments for.
Okay, sorry. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No final report, Spring Mill Run Drain.
Yes, before you is a request for preliminary concurrence on a proposed reconstruction of the University High School arm of the Spring Mill Run Drain. The reconstruction is associated with the construction of an educational wetland within the limits of the existing regulated drain easements behind University High School. If granted preliminary concurrence, the detailed development plans and drainage calculations will be prepared by V3 Engineering. The work will include both the removal of and lengthening of a segment of the regulated drain behind the school. The portion of the drain to be removed consists of 638 feet, while the lengthening of the drain will be by 36 feet. And again, this is not a hearing scheduling, nor is it an official hearing. This is just a request for preliminary concurrence, and if that is granted, plans will be prepared and a hearing will be scheduled at a later time.
Couple of questions on the diagrams. Well, first of all, once it's a constructed wetland, it is a wetland forever.
Correct.
And we've only retained 30-foot access points because it's constricted apparently to the west. Is that going to be enough room to work, and what will keep that area from becoming a wetland itself?
I believe so, yeah. I mean, like our intentions was to basically remove the portions of the easements where maintenance access may be an issue, and we're relinquishing it to the school. And whereas everything that's to remain, we still believe we have reasonable maintenance access.
Well, I think it's good they want to do an educational wetland, but I just want to make sure we don't leave a headache for the next drainage boards.
Yes, so that thin portion is over a storm drain that drains acreage from the west, and that the width that will remain after the easement's revised is adequate to maintain that pipe.
Okay.
And then it opens up into the detention pond, which will be separate from the wetland. We have the same concerns that you raised, Commissioner Altman, that we don't want to create a situation where now we're obligated to maintain a facility that's a wetland that requires permitting.
Okay, that's fine.
So you're fine with this?
Yes, this is, we've met with University High School for several months now, and we are agreeable to this plan. The main thing that we looked at was detention volume in the pond itself. That is not being decreased. It is changing how it is stored, but the detention volume is still there.
Well, in theory, the wetland would help.
Correct, yes.
Yes. Is there a motion to
So moved.
give preliminary? Discussion, any more? All in favor?
Aye.
Non-enforcements. Of the 14, number 12 is the only one open for discussion, so is there a motion to approve 1 through 11 and 13 and 14?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Let's talk about the Crooked Creek Drain easement.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes, this is actually, in the end, a standard non-enforcement. We did write a separate agreement for it, but the agreement covers all the same items and addresses all the same items as the form, the non-enforcement form. But there is a nuance to this in that most of the non-enforcements that we do are for platted drainage easements. In this case, it's truly just the statutory easement. So this drain in the subdivision rather dates back to 1979, and the drainage infrastructure that was installed was never platted. There was no plat over this drain, and the drain was taken into the county regulated drain inventory in 2006, but the easement was not addressed. So all that there is the statutory right of entry provided. So I just wanted to call that out to the board that this isn't a standard non-enforcement within a platted regulated drain easement. It's merely within the statutory easement. And we still support it, but just a little different than normal.
Is the non-enforcement, are we rectifying the problem or just noting it?
We're just noting it at this point. We probably should come back and remedy the issue.
Well, perhaps now's the time to remedy the issue. Just so everyone knows what's what. I mean,
I'm not aware of their schedule for the construction and the improvement, but I'm thinking it's going to take a little bit of time to put a report together to address the issue. So,
could we just do an easement?
well, all the drains in the easement we should do. I mean, all the drains within the
So what would you
subdivision.
recommend that we do, Gary?
So,
Knowing that this is something that does need to be remedied,
approve the non-enforcement today.
okay?
And then I will bring a report back that identifies all the drainage infrastructure in the subdivision that became regulated drain in 2006.
Okay.
And then we'll
When would
establish
you
that
bring
easement.
that back? Give us some,
6 weeks, 4 weeks, because we've got to research.
okay.
Does it require any cooperation from the homeowner? Your follow-up?
I would think so.
Yeah, probably a little bit more time.
Yeah, you're gonna probably
Maybe.
need more time than that, but.
Yeah, could we say 120 days?
Yeah, let's do that. I
Yes.
make a motion to approve the
Yes.
surveyor's recommendations on the non-enforcement.
Is subject to grant of easement?
Yep.
Second.
So the motion is subject to grant of easement, the non-enforcement is approved.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sounds like Gary and I need to have a meeting, just walking in on the end of this.
Yep.
It's exciting.
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
let the record show that,
You might want
Are
to
you
come to
getting
a
picked up by the
microphone.
mic?
I'm sorry. We appeared, went to the conference room and on the record, approved, or went through all of the bids for urban and rural drains, approximately 10 in each category. They all had the right information with them. Gary, how long do you need to make a review and recommendation on those items?
So we'll bring it to the next meeting, really out of necessity to have the contracts in place for the work to start on January 1st.
Okay, recommend they be referred to the surveyor's office for review and recommendation at the next meeting.
Move.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. We have stop work order, Ole Michael Drain, SWIP violation.
Yes, good morning. This is an FYI to the board. On November 18, 2025, the surveyor's office issued a stop work order. The stop work order was issued on the parcel located at 18531 Durbin Road, Noblesville, Indiana, 46060, being owned by Hamilton County Tax Records as owned by Arturo and Maritza Martinez. The stop work order applies to all contractors, subcontractors, and others performing work on the parcel. The stop work order was issued due to the following violations. First, the Stormwater Pollution Prevention Plan, SWIP, has not been submitted to or approved by the Hamilton County Surveyor's Office. Second, there are no erosion control measures installed on site. Third, a total plan review, including drainage calculations, has not been submitted to or approved by the Hamilton County Surveyor's Office. Fourth, performance surety, performance bond, or letter of credit has not been submitted to or approved by the Hamilton County Drainage Board. The Hamilton County Surveyor's Office requires the following to be addressed immediately: install appropriate containment better management practices, BMPs on site as soon as possible. The stop work order shall remain in full force and effect. First, a stormwater pollution prevention plan, SWIP, has been submitted to this office for review and approved. Second, a total plan including drainage calculations has been submitted and approved. Third, a performance surety, performance bond, or letter of credit has been submitted and approved. Fourth, a permit posting board is installed with appropriate permits posted. Fifth, installation of appropriate BMPs on site. And sixth, violations identified in this notice are cured, mitigated, abated, and remediated. As of today, the Hamilton County Surveyor's Office has not made contact with the property owner in regards to the stop work order. However, ironically, following the initial inspection on site, the property owner did reach out inquiring about what steps they needed to follow. The Surveyor's Office plans on trying to continue that conversation.
Okay. Then we have violations verdict.
Yes, this is a FYI to the board and just an update. On November 12, 2025, the Surveyor's Office did issue an updated IDDE violation letter and fine to Vera Proscenium. The letter has a due date of December 1st, 2025 for the owners of Vera Proscenium to issue a check in the amount of $10,500 in relation to the violations acquired earlier in the year.
Have we had any response?
Not as of yet.
Okay. Thank you. We have no spills, we have no surety acceptance nor release, change orders.
Yes, before you is change order number 4 from Murray Wilson Oak Park Drain Reconstruction. This is for the repair of various utilities, which we did not know about as we were programming the project, and it is customary to include the repair of such crossings. In this case, it is 2 electric lines and a water line, which total, and the addition of revetment riprap. So as the project has proceeded and we've dipped out and reconstructed the ditch, we've identified the need for riprap in several locations. So the total of the change order is $22,256.40. We recommend approval.
So moved. Second.
Discussion. Didn't we have it scoped by 811? I mean, didn't we have utilities marked? It should have been picked up,
These are all private. They're just services, so
but they didn't.
they did not show, right. Well, when we called it in, they wouldn't show up when we did the design, and I believe not even during construction. 2 of them we found by accident.
Okay.
So, yeah, past the meter, generally, we don't, 811 doesn't show those.
Okay. Is, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Construction update.
Yes, Clara Notch Drain, we just had the discussion for landowner input, so the contractor, the last email that I had said, he was looking at the 1st of December to get started. I will follow up on that. Mary Wilson Oak Park Drain Reconstruction, the project continues. They are moving north through, it's Oak Park. I think they're north of Billiter Court at this point. They're continuing moving forward with dredging the ditch. Hortonville Drain, we have released the structures for purchase. We will wait to see a start date from the contractor. A.F. Fingerman Drain Reconstruction, I know our contractor has mobilized back out to the site and is working on punch list items to complete the project. William Ware Drain, J.S. McCarty Phase 3, the final walkthrough has taken place. And Brad, do you know, have they already addressed the punch list, or are they working on it? Okay, so they're still working on the punch list. West Arcadia Miller Arm, we do continue with easement acquisition for that. Several of the landowners at the very western end of the project are requesting a meeting, and they are, I'll say, they don't want to sign the easements if they don't have full assurances that the project's going to move forward. So I'm going
Is
to,
that the same one that I approached
Yes.
you about, Ryan Knapp?
yes, it is.
Okay.
So I'm going to meet with them and get everything moving. They are, one of the landowners back several months ago suggested a different outlet from the one that's proposed, and that will be discussed at that meeting, but, so we're going to have a
Make
meeting
sure
with the
I'm
landowners.
copied on that, too.
Yes. Would you like to attend the meeting?
Yeah, I would like to attend
Okay.
it.
Emily Vestal Drain reconstruction, that project is waiting for the Mary Wilson to be finished. Once the Mary Wilson Oak Park Drain project is complete, they will mobilize over there. Elwood Wilson Drain, Craig Harn Arm reconstruction, we are still waiting for our contractor to mobilize to the site. And the Anchorage Drain reconstruction, we are getting closer with Mr. McKinney. I understand that he wants the temporary easement restaked so he can see exactly the impact to the property, which we are working to do.
Do you anticipate we should have that resolved in the next couple of weeks?
I'd like to think so. I really
It
do.
just seems like it's been going on for months and months and months.
Yes. And I know Mr. Small, who's one of the
Yeah.
ones directly impacted, reaches out to
Well,
our
it's not
office.
only him.
regularly.
There's a couple other people. I got the homeowners association as well as Miss Coble and her husband as
Right.
well.
So hopefully we can work things out with Mr. McKinney,
Yeah.
just so he can, really what he wants is just a visual.
Yeah.
So, that's all I have.
Okay. Pending as-built, none. Final report, William Lair.
Yes, we are moving that forward.
Okay. Drainage Board Attorney.
Yeah, just real quick, just spoke to Mike Hubbs before this meeting, and he confirmed that item number 3 on our list, the new ordinance tree root removal special assessment, we'll be having greater discussion on that at your December 8th meeting during working session.
Okay.
Okay.
And then items number 2 and 5, Gary, Mike, and I have met extensively on, and Mike and I will be drafting a memo to have for you review here shortly.
Okay, that's good. And then, Village of West Clay, do we have that on one of these lists, so it keeps reminding us to do things?
It is not. We are, I've reached out to Mr. Terp and discussed the special assessment, and we are working on, he gave us a list of the inlets that need repaired. I talked with Justin Russell about this last week, that we've identified an approximate cost per repair, and so we were going to mass that, make a report to the board of, here's the total number that need repaired, here's what we think it's going to cost, and then we can decide what to do.
Okay.
So that is moving forward.
So Mr. Terp indicated that would be an acceptable solution?
He didn't say either way. He just reminded us that, he says there, I think in his email that it's a fairly easy fix. I don't know if I fully agree with that, but I'd like to look at the magnitude of the cost before we do that. I did identify, and I'll include this in the report as the board had requested this, is the Village of West Clay its own watershed? And it is its own watershed, so there's a pool of money, but they also pay into Williams Creek watershed. So there's really 2 pools that we could draw from, but I expect the board would want us to limit it to the Village of West Clay as this is their issue. But I'll include in the report what the balance of that in that fund is.
Okay.
So hopefully, maybe for the next meeting, or definitely the first meeting in January, I can have a report to the board on.
Okay, I just recall from what Kenton said.
Right.
That the repair is likely to result in a failure again.
It likely will, and because they're all subject to damage from snow plows and trash trucks and whatnot. It's just kind of part of the business.
Okay.
But I have, in talking to Justin, that with how he's seen them installed, there could be a way to mitigate that.
Okay,
Right now, the-
that's my concern, is to
Yes.
spend a bunch of money and then we have the same problem 10
Right.
years from now. Of course, I won't be around, so I don't care. I just want to, again, leave it to the next homeowners association and drainage board if we can avoid it.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I have no update on mine. Anchorage Drain, I know, we just talked about the Clarinos Parkwood Drive vacation. We still have not seen anything from the city of Carmel regarding an exhibit, so we can make a report to the board. 1532 South Street, I know Tim Knapp continues to deal with Mrs. Lay, and she is adamant about, she will not accept the offer. So I'm looking at what can be done in the short term to stabilize that. I'm worried that not much can be done without spending more than the value of the property's worth, but I am looking into that.
Well, I think at some point we need to wrap it up with just a notice to the landowner of what we decide. So she's very much aware of
Right.
the consequences. And once the house is damaged, she'll have even less compensation, I presume, because it has to be based on appraisal. Which is even more unfortunate.
Right.
I
And the
mean, that's what
house,
worries me, is if a house falls in, I mean, it was an encroachment that in theory you don't even have to replace.
correct, correct.
And back, I can't remember, did she have any family or anyone?
That I do not know.
We might do a little research to see if she has a financial advisor or someone else helping her.
Yes, absolutely.
That would be helpful, I think, to her in the long run.
I know Tim talks to her regularly, so I can have him see what he can find out.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Anything else?
One thing I have, I just want to make sure, were you able to talk to that Aaron Ogle?
I have not yet. It is on my to-do list.
That's
I'm
on
going
the
to call
Clark
him.
Milligan arm, the Sarah Compton
Yes.
part of that. I just wanted to make sure, he's reached out to me a couple times.
Yes, I will talk to him. Yes. And I have one thing to add,
Okay.
if I could. I looked it up today, 26.5 years. Today is Lynette Mosbaugh's last drainage board meeting.
Wow.
And
Shocking.
I know I'd like to thank her for all these years of service, and
Wow.
I know she's not retiring yet. Her retirement party is on December 5th, but this is her last drainage board meeting, so thank you for everything, Lynette.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for
you.
your service.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a calming method.
Yes,
I look over at you.
but forceful when she needs to be.
I don't have that document. Thanks. Anything else to come before the board? Is there a motion?